Yeah, when we're talking about democracy, and I want to say to you that I think we need to bring back the nugget.
Yeah, I think we should bring back the nugget show. And I want to say what I said earlier when we were talking about democracy,
Right.
that it didn't resonate during the election. And what I think is what didn't resonate was the word democracy. But what does resonate with people is what democracy does. And we have
Right.
these really great cards. Democracy looks good on you. Freedom to vote, to read, to dance, to rap, to sing, to choose, to twerk, to worship, to vote. And that is all of the things that democracy is. And what we failed to do was just talk about the word without giving people what it actually means. And so I might not care about the word democracy, but I care about what it
Oh my
does.
God, this
And
is
this
like
is
super
this is us in our pajamas having a talk
pajama,
early in
pajama
the
talk,
morning. Yeah,
pajama
pajama
talk.
talk about, that just the things that are on our mind. And of course, this all is reflected in the show that we're going to have this week. But these
Yeah.
are really important issues. And I want my desire is for
Is
everyone and their families to have some of these conversations with your mother and your aunt and your sister and your girl cousins, just to say that this is an opportunity to talk to the men in your life and that they should be having these conversations. Everyone should be talking about these things. There is nothing more important right now than having the ability to live in a country that respects all its people.
going to use. And I think the problem is that we not really teaching it in school. I think civic wise, that we have lost that, we have lost that kind of culture of democracy. And now we're kind of cynical. And I think when cynicism and comes into things, we don't trust anything, we don't trust our institutions. Things are held up really by the people, and the people have to believe in these institutions. And that's the purpose of when people purposely undermine those institutions. You can't trust your teacher, you can't trust the you can't trust anybody in government. Government is bad. Then this is where democracy starts to kind of unravel.
And they go, oh, well, you said, give me the definition of democracy. And they go,
Right.
oh, it's like, I know what it is, but I just can't describe it. And so that's where we were. And that's why maybe even in the elections that are happening now, there needs to be a national conversation, one where people pay attention, that fireside chat that happens with the country to say, this is what
Democracy looks like.
exactly, this is what democracy is, that you have the ability to turn this TV off and not listen to what I'm saying, to change the station, to change the YouTube. That is what democracy is, the freedom to do all of the things that you want to do. No one telling you what you can read and what you can't read, what you can watch and what you can't watch, what dance you can do, what dance you can't do. Telling you what you can't talk about diversity. That is
Yeah,
democracy tells you you can do all of these things. And so if
yeah,
you tell me you don't care about democracy, that means you want to live like they live in Russia
I know.
or
But I'll
China
say that
or
on
North
my
Korea.
what I like to bring to this conversation is I agree with that. And I think though the other side of it is democracy requires responsibility. And I think that's where we've lost as a country. We somehow the caretaking it needs caretaking.
Yeah. My final thought would be about women, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I like to have my coochie conversation.
Your coochie
And my
combo.
conversation, which is
Yeah,
55% of women gave away their cookies for free during this election. And now we have the SAVE Act, which we have an opportunity through the Senate to make
right.
sure that we have the votes to get it back. And
Gucci
so,
Act.
yeah,
Okay, we got to learn Democrat, Republicans always like to name their bills these things that are the opposite of what they do. We need to, the Coochie Act. Who wouldn't like want to vote for that?
I'm just saying, and getting it back. And the reason I think that's so important, which is another one of these conversations and
Right.
understanding history, women have to know, all women, that
Mm,
their votes were suppressed for so long.
I know,
The
right?
suffragist movement worked so hard and long to get women the right to vote. And for any woman to
Right.
vote for this bill is beyond comprehension for me.